Analytics, especially predictive analytics, is of increasing importance to organizations. And two IBM Center for Applied Insight studies highlighted that use of analytics is a key differentiating factor for leading businesses. The Business Tech Trends study revealed that nearly 7 in 10 of the leading companies, or pacesetters as we like to call them, make analytical insights an integral part of decision making. And in the Generation D study, those organizations that are driven by analytics, called Generation D for data, are 2.9 times more likely to use predictive analytics to inform most processes and decisions. But where does HR stand in the story? Today, we want to explore the idea of what it will take for HR organizations to become frontrunners in the analytics journey, similar to the pacesetters and Gen D enterprises. To learn more, we're talking with Jonathan Farrar and Dr. Sherry Feinzing.
The future of HR is going to involve analytics. It has to. The whole world is focused on data, data sources, and the analytics and the insights that you can get from it.
There is a wealth of insights just waiting to be mined in HR data. And there are so many factors within an organization that impact how effective or ineffective employees can be in their jobs.
Recruitment is the basic function of human resources, because without people, businesses don't operate.
Data-driven insights can be particularly useful in the hiring process, and I'd like to convey a story about that, a specific organization that relied quite a bit on high-quality engineers for their success. And they had a tradition of always recruiting from the top-tier engineering schools. There was someone in the organization who had a hypothesis that maybe some of our best hires are not from those traditional schools. So they did a study, collected data, and they actually found that the candidates that they were interviewing who came from the non-traditional backgrounds ended up performing better, or at least as good as the candidates from the traditional schools. And furthermore, the folks from the non-traditional schools who they hired tended to stay with the organization longer. So really put those long-held assumptions to the test and change the way that they went about recruiting going forward.
Can HR become a leader in analytics, really pace setting in an organization?
There are several factors that have held HR back in being a front runner in the analytics journey. One factor is there's been a traditional focus in HR, particularly over the past several years, on process efficiencies and cost savings. And I think it's really important to change the mindset from looking at employees as one of the biggest expenses in an organization to one of the most important investments in an organization. I think another factor has to do with data challenges.
The data in HR comes from a variety of sources, and there's, to a certain extent, a feeling that the data has to be sorted in a perfect manner before you can really embark on the studies.
In order for HR to become more of a pace setter or a Gen D function in the future, it's going to require a mindset shift. It's moving away from a reliance on intuition and gut feel and really moving more towards hypothesis testing. Take those intuitions, formulate hypotheses, and then gather data to test those hypotheses.
Clients that we were talking to didn't really know how to get started.
IBM Smarter Workforce Institute is just coming out with a paper on helping to analytically enable the HR function and focused on the first 100 days.
First 30 days is really about, in my view, direction setting. So what are the goals? What's the mission?
Once you've got your vision established, step 2 is to understand what tools and methods you're going to use. So you need to understand what data sources you have available to analyze, what data you may need to analyze, and what types of tools and techniques you plan to use to do the analysis. And then once you've had the opportunity to demonstrate some quick wins, then you'll need to think about how are you going to build up your capacity for an ongoing basis.
There's plenty of data around in your business that you can already use to help your projects. And don't be scared of the technology or the data in itself. Think about the business problem, go talk to your executives, and get on. It's fun work, it's fascinating, and it's business.
One final thought I'd like to add around HR analytics is to never lose sight of the human in the human resources in analytics. We're talking about people, we're talking about making decisions that impact people's lives, and it's very important to keep that in mind.